Hey, it's James Hurst with ScreenWrite.net, where we help writers elevate their craft, accelerate their careers, and write the stories they're meant to tell. And this is the Pilot Masterclass. I chose Beef as the first pilot in this series because I believe writer, creator, and showrunner Lee Sung-jin has done a masterful job of writing the character-driven pilot. In this video, I'll show 3 techniques the writer used to build mystery around his characters, create empathy, and confound our expectations. Before we dive into these techniques, let's do a quick breakdown of the series' premise. The premise for Beef is concise and compelling. 2 strangers get into a road rage incident that sets off a series of escalating events and confrontations that consumes them and threatens to destroy the people they love. Now, the premise for Beef is similar to the 2002 film Changing Lane, about 2 strangers who get into a minor car accident which sets off a series of escalating confrontations that threaten to destroy them and the people they love. Now, the premise is also similar to the 1987 film Tin Man, about 2 strangers who get into a minor car accident which sets off a series of escalating confrontations that threaten to destroy them and the people they love. Wait a minute. If these premises sound familiar, it's because Beefs are a staple of drama going back all the way to the Montagues and Capulets. Feuds evoke strong emotions and speak to the themes of revenge, honor, and tribalism. Just think about all the famous beefs throughout history. There was the Borgias versus the Medici, the Hatfields versus the McCoys, Tupac versus Biggie, Drake versus Meek Mill versus Stairs,
Whoa.
Taylor Swift versus Katy Perry, Taylor Swift versus Joe Pesci, Taylor Swift versus the Cabbage Merchant from Avatar: The Last Airbender. If I'm being honest, and why start now, people have been beefing since before we were even people. It's just part of who we are. The premise for Beef is evergreen, but also incredibly relevant, speaking to our turbulent times with perfect resonance. But does the pilot deliver on the promise of the premise? Let's find out. The pilot opens with Danny, played by Steven Yeun. He's waiting to return a bunch of hibachi grills. Danny can't find his receipt, and the clerk informs him he won't be able to return the hibachis.
I'll just keep them in here. Super helpful.
Danny is in a bad place, and we get the vibe it's about more than just hibachi grills. This brings me to our first pro tip. One of the best ways to hook your audience is to build a mystery around your characters. Danny is clearly in distress, but why? It can't be as simple as not being able to return the hibachis. A mental health issue? Was he dumped? Was he fired? What happened to bring Danny to this low place? Now that the writer has made us care and stoked a curiosity, we're ready for the inciting incident.
What?
I'd argue that this is not the inciting incident. Wait for it. And there it is. Danny gets into an escalating road rage situation with the unseen driver of a white SUV. This is one hell of an opening to a pilot, and one of the most exciting I've ever seen. But this sequence only works because the writer took the time to make us care about Danny and intrigue us with the mystery of what brought him to this low place. This sequence builds in tension, the predator chasing his unknown prey, until a sudden reversal flips the script.
Stop.
Now we flip POVs and meet the driver of the white SUV, Amy, a stressed-out working mom played by Ali Wong. When Amy arrives at home, she tries to collect herself. But her husband, George, who is a dork, can tell something is wrong.
Come on. Talk to me.
Okay, well, after the meeting, I was sitting in the parking lot thinking about how many meetings and calls I've had to do for the last 2 years.
Seems Amy has been jerked around on the sale of her plant store for 2 years, and she just snapped.
So then I started driving, and then there was this guy who...
I'm gonna have to stop right there. You gotta start focusing on the positive, okay?
Instead of telling her husband to fuck off, Amy tamps down her rage to keep up the appearance of serenity. On the surface, Amy leads an enviable life. Handsome husband whose sweater game is next level. Sweet daughter, beautiful house. She's wealthy, she's famous, she's built her own personal brand based on a Zen-like serenity. But Amy's serenity is performative. She's playing a role society wrote for her, and she's sick of it. The script clearly shows us that Amy is teetering on the brink, but nobody in her life can see it, or they don't want to see it. This gives us a privileged view into Amy's psyche, and that should be the goal of every writer with their pilot. Bring us close to your hero, show us what no one else can see. It'll make us feel like a confidant, and put us right in your hero's corner. This is a good time to say if you're finding this video helpful, feel free to like and subscribe. You'll be helping to grow the Screenwrite channel and reach more writers like you. Like Hacks, Beef is a two-hander, which means it has dual protagonists. This gives the writer the opportunity to compare and contrast his two heroes. Amy is upwardly mobile, but Danny lives life on the opposite end of the spectrum. He lives in a cramped apartment in the valley with his lazy brother Paul. Much like Amy, Danny is sick and tired of biting down on his emotions and playing the role which society has written for him.
That's what's wrong with the world today, man. They want you to feel like you have no control, you know? Like you gotta eat shit with a smile on your face.
Just like Amy, Danny's reaching out, but nobody in his life is listening. Danny is desperate for someone, anyone, to listen to him, so he turns to a client telling a smug and well-hydrated rich guy his version of the road rage incident.
Yeah, so he drove off and, and pretty much just played it cool. He's lucky, though, because I would have gone nuts on him, right? I did get his license plate.
So Danny assumes it's a guy he's beefing with, but clearly he isn't the most observant fellow in the world because that's a pretty small hand. Moments later, Danny hears what the rich folks really think about him.
No, he's trimming the trees.
This brings me to our next pro tip. In Lisa Krone's book, Wired for Story, she explains that stories evolved as educational tools to help humans navigate the arcane rules of social groups in order to survive. Humans are hardwired to view social status as key to survival. When your character is made to feel the sting of their lower social status, this triggers a highly empathetic response in us.
Okay, well, you have to fire him after that. He's so annoying.
I know, he really is.
Confronting your hero with another character's negative opinion of them is a powerful lever you can pull to make us connect with your character on a visceral level. Their pain becomes our pain, and their journey becomes our journey. What makes this pilot really stand out to me is how writer Lee Sung-jin takes us on an emotional journey with his characters and forgoes plot twists for something much stronger. Which brings me to my last pro tip. The job of the pilot, amongst other things, is to set up the show. If it's in the show, it's in the pilot, as writer William Rabkin reminds us. So it was necessary for a series whose hallmark became insane and shocking plot twists to deliver a couple of crazy twists in the pilot. But what I really appreciate about these twists is that they are not so much plot twists as character twists. That is to say, these twists don't impact on the pilot, they twist our understanding of the characters that makes them so much more powerful because they hit us on a gut level. Now, I didn't spoil Danny's twist near the end of the pilot, so I won't spoil Amy's twist either, other than to say it would require a different kind of trigger warning. That's a wrap on this episode of the Pilot Masterclass. Feel free to like and subscribe to the Screenwrite channel for more videos on screenwriting, creating, and show running.